Hello REVSOUL, yeah, welcome you all guys to a new video. Today I just brought the most selling motorcycle from Royal Enfield, the Royal Enfield Classic 350. So without spending any time, let's get to know about this motorcycle and starting with the paint finish. This motorcycle has got a black color paint with a matte kind of paint finish, and this kind of a paint finish absolutely suits this kind of a motorcycle. Looking at the paint quality, this motorcycle still retains its paint quality even after clocking like more than 1500 kilometers. And in the front we can find that beautiful LED headlights given by Royal Enfield, which also do provide a nice illumination in the night time too. And looking at the indicators, we do get beautiful and perfectly working LED indicators for this motorcycle from the older halogen bulbs. Royal Enfield completely upgraded to LED indicators, and in the rear section we can find that beautiful looking LED tail lights. Royal Enfield still maintains that older looks in the tail lights too. And getting on the bike, the first thing we'll be noticing will be the weight, because this is a Royal Enfield. It's a bit heavier motorcycle. The bike weighs around like 195 kilograms, and the seat height is like 805 millimeter. I am a 5'8" guy. I have complete planted foot. If the seat height was like 835 millimeter, it would be much more difficult to move around the parking lot. Since the bike has 195 kilograms. And looking in the handlebar switches, this switch is for toggling on this detail meter console, and we get the light functions integrated in a single switch. The indicators down, we get the horn. In the right side, the kill switch and ignition are completely integrated in a single switch, and the caution lamp, that's the pretty basic handlebar switches. And looking at the meter console, we get the partly digital and analog meter console with the speedometer in analog. We get the warning symbols. In the data meter console, we get the fuel indication, and pressing this button we can toggle around from trip 1 to trip 2, and the gear position indicator also written here, the time and the odometer. That's it, a completely basic meter console for this classic Royal Enfield 350. And here we can find that small tripper navigation, where when connected to our Bluetooth to our phones, we get the turn by turn navigation, call alerts, music controls, everything can be accessed from that small tripper navigation. Now let's talk about the main thing of this motorcycle, the engine. Right now we get a 350cc single cylinder air plus oil cooling type on this engine, and since it's a long stroke engine, obviously the torque figures are much greater than the power figures. And looking at the power figures, we get 21.2 bhp and 27 newton meters of torque, and this 27 newton meters of torque can be completely accessed at lower rpms like 4000 rpm. At our 4000 rpm we can completely enjoy that 27 newton meters of torque. And to completely put a stop this motorcycle, Royal Enfield gave a 300mm disc rotors in the front side with the 2-piston bi-brake calipers, and in the rear side from other bikes we get a bigger disc rotors, a 270mm disc rotors in the rear side, again with the bi-brake single piston calipers. And talking about the braking is much on a progressive side, but the bike has got enough braking to stop this motorcycle. And looking at the tires, we can find the motorcycle has got CA tires with a 110 section tires in the front side and a 120 section tires in the rear side. And talking about the tire grips, I have rode this motorcycle in both rainy condition and dry condition, and for this motorcycle the tire gives a pretty grip while riding. And looking at the suspensions, we get a 41mm telescopic suspension in the front side and a twin 6-stage preload adjustable suspension in the rear side too. And this suspension do provide a much comfort while absorbing the most of the irregularities in the road. And before going for a short ride, let's hear the iconic classic 350 exhaust note too. That's it. Now let's go for a short ride on this motorcycle. Since you guys can see, I just took this small off-road for reaching this position, so the ground clearance is also much greater on this motorcycle with a 170mm, so don't need to worry about anything hitting to your bash plate also. And finally we have reached the highway, so let's see how the Royal Enfield Classic 350 performs. Since the road is a bit too trafficy, let's talk about the other aspects before going directly into the performance, like the mirrors. These mirrors works perfectly, showing us the every single details just beneath our backs. And talk about the vibrations, comparing to the older Royal Enfield Classic 350 models, the vibrations are completely minimal. Compared to the older models, we could say that all the vibrations have disappeared in this motorcycle. The engine refinement has completely increased on this motorcycle, giving us a much more a smooth ride looking to the older models. And talking about the top speed, since we have a small open road, let's check the top speed on this motorcycle. Actually, the top speed will be like 110 kilometers. We can clock up to like 110 kilometers in the fifth gear, and the sweet spot for this motorcycle will be like 80 kilometers per hour. And in the 80 kilometers per hour, like I said before, the vibrations are very minimal, and this motorcycle can be completely opted for touring because of the ergonomics, the complete wider handlebars, the softer seats, and the straight down foot pegs. We get a comfortable ride on this motorcycle. And also the tank range on this motorcycle is also exciting. We get a fuel tank up to like 13 liters, and the tank range can be up to like 500 kilometers per hour if ridden well. And talk about the fuel efficiency, the motorcycle can get up to a fuel efficiency of like 40 to 42 kilometers per hour in highways, and 36 to 38 kilometers per hour in cities if ridden well. This motorcycle is never for top speed, but for cruising in like 60-80 kilometers per hour. This is the character of this motorcycle. This motorcycle can be used for top speed riding, but the rider won't be much impressed or happy riding on those high speeds, because the complete character, the complete that feel of this motorcycle lies in those speed, like the 60-80 kilometers per hour. Okay, since I'm riding in this dead traffic, I'll talk about the heating. Right now, even though I'm riding this motorcycle for like few minutes, the heating is not worse on this motorcycle like the KTM Duke 390 or a bit more calmer Speed 400. The heat is much manageable, even though the cooling method is like air plus oil cooling. The heating is much managed on this motorcycle, so I didn't felt this motorcycle need like a complete oil cooling or like a liquid cooling on this motorcycle. And now let's talk about the pricing too. Right now it costs about like 2,68,000 rupees for this motorcycle on road Kerala, and this is a mid-spec variant, and there is also like a standard variant and a premium variant, and the pricing can increase and decrease according to your variant, the variant. So for this pricing, Royal Enfield has done good, giving us a beautiful refined engine, a proper ergonomics for daily riding, and of course for touring too. And that's it for the video of Royal Enfield Classic 350. I think I have shown you much of the details of this motorcycle, and if I still forgot to mention any detail, feel free to comment. I'll be there completely clearing your doubts. So let's catch up in the next video. Until then, bye bye.